How are you?
Good, mate. Steady away. Been doing all my chores and that this morning. So
Chores? What have you been doing in lockdown? Like, what's chores?
listing a load of stuff on Facebook for Frickleton, to get rid of it before new stuff comes in.
Got it. Looks good, that, by the way.
Thanks, mate.
It does look very good. Yeah, that and the Callaway I'm excited to try, to be fair. But anyway, we're not talking about that. Juniors.
Yeah.
So for those who potentially don't know, obviously you're a local pro to myself anyway. Someone who probably feels a little bit passionate about, obviously, kids coaching, getting kids into golf, progressing them through sort of the ranks and potentially onto bigger and better things. Now, obviously, I've had questions from parents, which I thought I'll read them and we can both answer them and bat off any ideas and whatever they might hear. But yeah, what's your take on juniors? What's your youngest that you teach? What's your oldest? What do you have? Because now you're at Hickleton, aren't you?
Yeah,
so.
Hickleton. Yeah, I think youngest I've ever taught would have been 4-year-old.
Yeah, so plastic club.
Yeah, it actually is. So one of the biggest questions we get asked is like, what's the youngest that a junior can start? I think, and for me, they're not necessarily receptive to the information at that age, but as long as we can get them just involved, if we can get them in golf club surroundings, if we can get them enjoying it, then any age really, I suppose. Even if you got a 2-year-old, like you said, plastic club, plastic putter.
Just let them swing, just not at you.
If they associate at an early age that a golf club is a nice place to be and it's a welcoming place, then it's only a positive, isn't it?
Yeah. Well. Speaking of welcoming places, obviously stigma with kids, we know, can be, oh, he's a junior golfer, he shouldn't be here, or anything along them lines. Do you think that's changing?
Yes. Saying that, I think it's up to people like me and you to keep pushing that idea. There were a guy that when you do your level 2 coaching and stuff, he told me a story. He said there were a young lady that used to go for lessons with him, and she only ever used to turn up in a football kit, and the members won't like it. But he said, no, just keep turning up, keep wearing whatever you want. We'll keep you, obviously entertained and enjoying it or whatever. That same girl now plays on Ladies European Tour. So imagine if she'd have gone down that route, I've been like, oh, I don't want to play because he said I can't wear my Southampton shirt or whatever. And it's mental, isn't it?
It's a good story, actually. Who was it? Do you know?
Martin Hayes is called. I don't know who the girl is.
Right, okay.
But coach Martin Hayes, yeah.
Yeah, I do. Like you say, I agree. We have to sort of be at the forefront of that. All right, the kids, are they going to do something wrong? Probably.
Yeah.
I think how you go about maybe telling them or just putting your arm around them and saying, look, you can do this, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Like you say, keeping it fun is a massive part in junior golf. We know that as well. But yeah, I think just putting your arm around him. But again, it's got to come from us as well. Just ease off. It's almost like going to the smallest kid in a playground and just going at them, and it's morally wrong, isn't it?
I suppose that kid will feel a slight element of, oh, should I be here in first place? And then as soon as someone compounds that, they're like, oh my god, like what am I actually doing here? Yeah.
So obviously, teaching kids yourself, what avenues have you done down before? Schools, groups?
The schools. The tricky thing with schools is that we found that the bridge from the school back to the golf club is a tricky one. So I think in future I'm going to look to more sports clubs and football.
Do you think that's more to do with clubs, as in looking elite? So if someone says, oh, to play golf you need lots of money, or
perhaps, yeah. I think it was like transport problems that we saw between parents. Parents saying, "Oh, I can't quite get them there, even though it's only like 10 minutes away and stuff." So,
okay. So question time. Let's say I've just picked 10 questions out. There was quite a few, to be fair, but I think if we answer these or give any advice on these, or to be fair, I've only had one read through them, so let's see how this goes. So number one, what age is best to get a junior into golf? You've pretty much hit that nail on the head.
Yeah. I think a lot of it depends on the way that the junior's developed, won't you say? So like you could have a junior that's fairly like big for the size at 6 compared to a kid that might be 8, 9 or quite small. So
what do you think if we had, say, a good 6-year-old who was like well advanced, say, for his age group, but didn't want to leave his friends?
We'll have to try and get his friends involved somehow then, don't we?
As in, like, no, if they was in a group together, and obviously this one kid is just standing out, and you're thinking, right, he's actually quite good. Keep him with the mates or move him on? What would you do?
Move him on in what way?
in terms of maybe to another group and with slightly better kids. 6-year-old's probably young. If I said a good 8-year-old who's coming to groups with his mates.
I know what you mean. That's tricky, that. I think...
I find this a balance of, like you say, you want them to still enjoy it with the friends, but we also want them to be good. I mean, you've got to take it with a pinch of salt as well, haven't you? An 8-year-old is not going to be a world beater from the off.
No, yeah, definitely not. But I think I would be tempted to introduce him to that slightly higher group, just to see how like he got on, if he enjoyed it, and then if not, just probably drop him down until they were ready.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Okay. Yeah. 2, should younger junior golfers play the same rules as tournament golf? I've had a few issues with this one. I don't know about yourself.
Yeah, it is tricky, isn't it? What we're saying, younger junior golfers.
Well, I know obviously running next gen.
Yeah.
For example, a rule I put in place for the mini tour behind, so kids who don't have a handicap, probably age ranging from 7 to 11, maybe something like that, is they actually had for pace of play a 12-shot rule on a hole.
Yeah.
So they had 12 shots. If they're nowhere near, pick the ball up, write a 12 on the card, go from there.
Yeah.
Don't know.
I think as long as the rule set's made clear to the junior before they go out, then I think it's all fair, isn't it? And like you're doing a really good job with your on-course lessons where you're talking to them about etiquette and the rules.
Yeah, it's just giving them a heads up as well. Will they remember everything? Again, probably not. But if they did do something wrong, just don't go hell for leather at me.
I know. Well, I think you're probably in a similar kind of boat where we learned by getting it wrong, I think, at an early age, didn't we? I know you were later in the game than what I was, but most of my golf rule knowledge comes from me not knowing the rule and messing it up. So
yeah, and then thinking back to bad memories being told off.
I know.
But I think that's quite a good one. I know. Let's say if I'm just thinking now of previous experiences, if a junior was a bit slow, do we then penalise them? If they're late for a tee time, do we penalise them? Do it
late one? I'm quite critical on ones like that because I think that only sets up good habits. So especially with lateness on the tee.
Because I feel like one came out. I feel like that happened.
Right.
Sure, I've seen something like that happen anyway. But
Nick Hubie tweeted about it, didn't he? The kid got disqualified or something for being 4 minutes.
Is that what happened? In fact, I'm speaking to Nick obviously later this week. That'd be a good one to bring up.
Definitely. Your junior event, I'm sure it was.
Because then people obviously argue with the kids, do you do this? But like you say, would that breed bad habits? Good one for debate.
The Yorkshire, whoever it was, or Sheffield Union, really didn't deal with that situation well because I think it should have just been perhaps like a shot penalty, whereas they went down the route of disqualifying the kid and say that he couldn't play. So it was I think blown out of proportion in that sense. But
yeah, I'll bring that up. I think that's a good one. Number 3, is a junior membership worth it?
Ooh. It's a good one.
Now, I would say purely on the fact that if they're paying for a ballpark figure £100 a year, are they getting the full rights as a full playing member? Well, no, they're not going to be there on a Saturday morning on the first tee or Friday morning, Thursday morning, whenever school time may be. And again, going for what we do, getting a kid into golf, if you said to him, right, it's £1,000 for your membership, I don't think we'd be teaching kids.
No.
So I would say, yeah, I think it is worth it. Friends.
I'm kind of in favour of people paying a little bit as well, because I think as soon as you start to give it away for free, then the value of it deteriorates. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think even if it is £50 to £100, it's like, make sure you pay your sub. You're still entitled to, like you say, play when you want to, play when you're available.
Well, £50, it's just what, nearly £1 a week?
Yeah, it's mint, isn't it?
I think, I'm going with it. It is value. It is worth it. Number 4, what age should my son get a handicap? He is 8.
Whenever he's ready, I won't put an age limit on.
Yeah, I won't put. No, I agree with that. Again, going back to the fun aspect, if he's enjoying his golf, just leave him be. If he's turning out to be a Charlie Woods, then crack on, because he was impressive. I don't know if you saw him.
The kid will probably make that decision himself, won't he? He'll get to a point handicap now.
Yeah, or I want to play more golf if he's playing multiple sports, football, whatever. But no, I won't put an age on that. Definitely not. 5, how often should my 12-year-old son have lessons, as golf is the only sport he plays?
Good one. I think a lot of
this
that
guy obviously
resources. So obviously it's like it's not cheap having regular lessons, but
no.
If that's something that your kid enjoys, if that's something that the parent is able to advocate, then as regular as the kid wants, really.
Well, I was going to say, I think you could always spin it as well of saying if he did have a lesson, if we equipped him to go away and say do 2 or 3 things, games or a scoring to beat, then they're almost not having the lesson as such when they do go and practice. They're still trying to do it themselves and then come back and provide a bit of feedback.
Like we have to set homework as well as teachers, don't we?
Yeah. I'd hate to use that word with the kids with homework because all of a sudden you're not the best mate. But I would say how often. I wouldn't want to put a time frame on it. I think if they had a lesson on a Saturday and they wanted one, say 2 Saturdays after, individual, I'm thinking as well. Groups is I would class it as a different style. But I probably wouldn't put too much on it. I think if you can give them a couple of things to go away with, I think you're going to be all right. You're not going to overdo it. If you overdo it, it could become a bit stale.
Yeah, a bit monotonous.
Yeah, which you don't want.
No, absolutely not.
Right then, next one. Why and when does a junior need an instructor? I assume they mean coach.
Yeah.
Why? I would say to develop as a player. This is my answer anyway. And when? Once they get a bit more into it. I think if even our little one, she's 5, would I go and put her into a coach now? She just wants to literally hit a ball, a pink ball, fetch it, come back, hit it again. So in my eyes, if she's enjoying that, then until she says she wants to go and play with other kids or anything like that, I wouldn't put an age on that. I don't know about yourself.
I think why is such an interesting question, isn't it? Like why do you look at the people that have the most lessons out of any golfers in the world, and it's tour pros?
Yeah.
I think there's a stigma behind people thinking that it's a sign of weakness going for a lesson when it's just not at all, is it? And
no.
I think people need to change their ideas when it comes to that, because you see like, oh, what do I need a lesson for and all this? It's like, well, why does Henrik Stenson need a lesson when he's earned $4 million on tour? It's forever an ongoing process, and if you have someone to go through that process with you, it's only going to make it easier.
I mean, in all fairness, what if you didn't need a coach, then we wouldn't be in a job.
I don't think
in terms of coaching, haven't you? So why I think obviously is quite self-explanatory in my eyes. Yeah. But
there's no guy on tour that's doing it alone, is there?
No.
You look at all of them now; they've got swing coach, putting coach, short game coach, psychologist, full team.
Yeah. Cooks, physios, the lot.
It's nutritionists, everything.
So it's I think I wouldn't put the time on that age either. Personally, I think when they're ready or they want to go in or they see other kids playing and want a bit of that, then fair enough.
I think that's where communication comes in between, the parent, the kid, and the coach.
Yeah.
Because if you're having them frequent conversations saying like, is he ready? It's like, you could almost keep him at arm's length, and then as soon as he's ready, it's like, right, he's stepping up now. He's looking like he's a serious golfer. Now here's what we need to do, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Next one then. How can I as a parent help without being too critical? Good one.
That is a good one. We see quite a lot of that as well, don't we?
Yeah. Now, I mean, I probably would say first starting out, I would almost stay quiet and bite my tongue. If I feel they're being a bit too critical, I just ask them to step away.
Yeah.
I don't want the kid getting down or upset in a lesson or anything like that. The whole point or my philosophy is when they come, they're going to enjoy it. Now, if someone is in their ear telling them they're doing something wrong when actually, mechanically, they might be doing it right.
Mm-hmm.
We wouldn't have gone through a degree to try and learn more about coaching and even now still learning more about coaching to then have someone potentially watch a bit of PGA Tour on a Sunday evening and say his son or daughter is doing something wrong. So I think a few coaches would back us up on that in terms of some parents can be bad for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I get they only want the best for them. I get that. We're not there to make them worse. It's just they've got to allow a little bit of time for it to sort of sink in at least.
What were question? What were it? When is it time to be critical?
How can I, as a parent, help without being too critical?
Don't be critical, like, at all.
Yeah, if they do something wrong, that's probably just as good. Golf, you're going to learn, like you said. How did you learn? How did you learn your etiquette and everything? Probably from doing.
Yeah, I took it upon myself, and then you just get over it, don't you? It's like golf is hard enough on its own. Golf will beat your kid up without you doing it as well.
That's why I'm great at 30. But yeah, it's to summarize that one, just don't be critical.
Yeah, encouragement, not criticism.
Yeah, I'm gonna say if they do something wrong, it's not their own fault. Buy them a McDonald's on the way home, and I'm sure they'll be cheered up.
Again.
Yeah. Do launch monitors help with junior development?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say the games that you can get on them now are class.
Out there.
But again, thinking of even without launch monitors, I remember doing a junior summer camp a few years ago and putting life-size cutouts of superheroes on the range. Literally for 15 minutes, I said, hit them. I never did anything. I just said, right, let's see who can hit them. Little things like that is, I mean, yeah, okay, the modern technology we use, TrackMan, being in to see the software this morning, the playing software, out of this world good. Yeah. I stood there knowing all my juniors are going to see that and just be hitting the walls with excitement. So, yeah, I would say, yeah, I think it does help.
Well, the whole thing with launch monitors is like for years as pros, we had to guess what we're going off at impact. Like we could make real good guesses, but we never knew for certain. And launch monitors just take that whole element of guessing out. It's really for us now. It's just, can we change the person? It's not, can we guess what's going off wrong and then change the person? So,
and I think as well with development is, you can make it as simple, like you say, or as complicated as you want. If you want to just see a target and you're having a little game with the kids, have a game. If they wanted to know their spin rates, launch angles, blah blah blah. But so I would say, I think it does help with junior development. I just think you go about how you would determine on their age or ability.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Are course lessons more beneficial than range lessons?
I'm going to say no, right? Because I think that they both serve a really important purpose.
Yeah.
And it's like obviously up to the coach to know what's right at a certain So for younger ones, when they're first being introduced at game, it's always good to get them out there just to see what it's like. But there's always that.
They just look so small, don't they? Of course, you take a 5-6-year-old out, and
when they're like 100-yard out, you think, oh my God, this is a par 5 from this at least, isn't it?
Yeah. Course lessons more beneficial than range lessons. Yeah, I think they're obviously two completely different types of lessons, really. I mean, on course, potentially have 1, 2, 3 shots from the spot. Yeah. Range, they may be stood there and hit 10, 20, 30 balls. So I know the greenkeepers wouldn't be too happy if you were walking down, hitting 30 balls off the fairway, then 10 yards down, another 30 balls. So course lessons for me, I would potentially put them more for the later stage of juniors. Mm-hmm. Me personally, I think having the little ones, you would be on the short game area, studio, wherever. Yeah. Get them enjoying it. But yeah, I think on course, if you've got some good kids coming through, potentially going out and almost putting a bit of a performance package in place and saying, right, you've got bunker shots, 3 shots, what do you score? I think that would be more for the later age of juniors, in my eyes.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, so this last question from parents. Do you believe juniors should use goal setting? Yeah. I would say, otherwise, what would you...
What are you aspiring to? I've just done a video on my YouTube channel, like my goals for this year. Every year I do the same video. Here's what I didn't do last year. Here's what I need to do this year. It's just massive, isn't it?
Did you do many from last year?
I did about half. I know obviously the global situations hampered me a little bit, but half I did. Some of the ones that I didn't do weren't that important. So I had stuff like read 12 books and I didn't read 1 book all year. So
yeah, I do it. Yeah, reading for me.
Not for me.
What other ones did you have? Just curious.
Let me get my list up. It's in my notes. I make it right at front of my notes as well, so I always know what to do and what not to do. So ones that I did do, like a monetary amount of lessons and stuff. So I want to earn a certain amount of money and stuff.
Target,
one were about being more organised. So I had to plan my week ahead every Sunday night, and I did that every week.
Yeah.
So that were a good one. Run 100 miles last January, did that. So there were a few like ones that I didn't do. Attend 4 PGA training courses, because of course I set out at the start of the year to go and then obviously like there were Zoom calls and stuff like that. So yeah, a few that I did do, a few that I didn't. But you've got
so varied. Yeah, I was going to say, thinking of kids, it could be. I know I had a junior, even with last year's lockdown, of I think the start of the year off about mid-30 handicap, and they're now off something like 15.
That's tremendous.
Now that you can't outguess that is going to happen. But I would say, yeah, having a goal of, even if it's five less than the handicap, or like you say, maybe have 3 golfing goals for the year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think goal setting would be a good one for kids.
I know it's a bit like cringy and a bit cliche as well, but them SMART goals, like the specific measure.
Specific measurable, yeah. Yeah, I think I probably wouldn't, like I say, I wouldn't use a goal setting for Isla. She's 5, but I know obviously up at the short game area at Doncaster, she can now probably drive her about 40 yards.
Yeah.
Hey, by end of this year, let's see if she can get it off the mat for 70 yards. But for the small ones, I probably would say maybe not. But I think once they're regular into golf, can they go and play the first 9 holes?
Same way.
9 holes under a score.
You've set Isla a goal there, haven't you? It doesn't have to be anything major.
Yeah, she doesn't know that yet.
Yeah. When she's there about 65, and you're like, come on, we've got more to go.
So yeah, I think they were 10 decent questions coming from parents. I would summarise with that by just saying, determine on the age. Just try not hone them down too much.
Yeah,
I'd say keep it fun. If they're then wanting to play golf, maybe weekly with groups. I know obviously at the minute we can't. Then maybe start thinking of goals. Do they want to play 9 holes? Do they want to do 18? What's the best 9 hole score? Can they drive a further within 3 months or something like that? Then we can have a bit of fun with that. I remember using a kid when I was back at Wheeling. We measured his drive at something like 70 yards, and then when he broke the 100 barrier, he was literally Rocky. He was the hardest man alive. But something like that is great because they know they've achieved something. So all of a sudden they're actually feeling they've got a place.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's good that. Question for me. What are you looking forward to in 2021?
Getting back to some kind of normality. Everyone else. It's horrible, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not good.
On a serious one, though, away from all this, because I don't like talking about the current situation too much. It's like we're going back to Ickleton, it just being involved with the junior setup again, because that was something that I distanced myself from at Kingswood. I don't know if it were a situational thing or a locational thing. I feel more involved with the juniors at Ickleton than I do Kingswood because it's a bit further away from where I live and stuff. But just starting again and getting Saturday mornings back up and running and getting a regular thing going again. Yeah,
stuff like that. It would be good to get back to that and a bit of banter between the kids and even yourself if they beat you in a skills challenge or whatever. It's it would be nice. Hey,
I don't let them beat me. It just don't happen.
Oh no, you've got to grind them into the floor. I mean, like I say, Alice 5, she ain't out driving me. But yeah, I think I know it's obviously everywhere in the news at the minute, but some form of normality. It'd be good, especially for kids wise. It'd be nice to obviously, like I say, you're almost going back home. You started at Hickleton, didn't you?
Yeah. Just like I had 1 day before we got locked down again, so.
Yeah, so even that is obviously. I assume you'll be excited and
jumping at the bit. I just can't wait to get going now.
Yeah, and weather-wise, I mean, it's obviously raining here at the minute, but
it's English outside, doesn't it?
Yeah, I just spoke to Zane. Then he's in Dubai, loving life. So, well, yeah, I'm going to say, right then, 5 questions that everyone's asked for everyone this week. Quickfire. Favorite player?
Matt Fitzpatrick.
Okay, Yorkshire.
Yeah.
Favorite club in the bag?
9-iron.
And the reason for this?
I hit a really good shot on a really good round with it, and then
just one?
Yeah, just that one time. Never hit it good since or before. Yeah, I don't know. Something about a 9-iron.
9-iron. Okay. Your go-to shot? OB right, water left,
Left, right up.
Reload.
No, stinger.
Okay.
Three iron back at stance as low as I can, because I always think with that, right, the lower it goes, the less chance it. Well, obviously, lower it goes, quicker it's going to hit the ground, so less chance of it curving left or right.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Thinking a bit negatively though, still there, aren't you?
Oh, big time. Just what works, isn't
it? Favorite course played? I think I know this one after last year.
Earth course, Juma Maria.
Yes, I. To be fair, I think I'm in that same boat.
What's your top three?
Top three. I'm still a traditionalist. Me with Ganton.
Ooh,
I love Ganton. Ganton, Earth course, and to be fair, I'm staying in Dubai Hills. I've been there 3 years now, and that place is just off the charts.
It's mega, isn't it?
I mean, I know it's new, but the condition of that is just.
You wouldn't think it was new, would you?
No. I mean, it'll be interesting if we go back later this year how the developments around. I mean, you'll probably seen the houses; they were ridiculous.
One of them as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were literally like a James Bond pad. But yeah, I would say Ganton's still close to my heart. I do like that. But Earth, I would say.
Of like close courses as being good. I like Moortown, which is a bit weird, isn't it? Moortown.
Yeah, good.
I do like Moortown.
Yeah, and last one. Obviously, what a talented player you are, which major would you want to win?
This stumped me when we've done this question before, but I'm going to say Masters. I'm going to stick to my guns and say Masters.
Reason?
The exclusivity of it. It's the hardest to get in. Best, I think, while you're there, and then, oh my God, it just been won it. Yeah,
I mean, I'd love to go and watch it. That's got to be on the bucket list, hasn't it, of most golfers, I would say.
Definitely.
Yeah, so the Masters. Well, anyway, that's everything from me. Thank you for joining. Hopefully all the parents who we answered the questions will got a little bit of feedback. Just chill. Just let them enjoy it. That's what I would do.
Enjoyment is the buzzword, isn't it? That's what it's always going to be.
But thank you very much for joining me.
Pleasure, mate. Thanks for having us.
I'm sure I will see you. Or in fact, I'll invite you down to see the studio.
Definitely.
After lockdown.
When we get quad set up at Ickleton, I'll return the favour. So.
Oh, I'll show you some numbers.
Yeah.
Not good ones. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Jack.
Cheers, mate.
See you later, bud. Take care.